After falling asleep at the Knicks game in front of the entire world and serving as a human jinx for the New York Knicks, Donald Trump has now gone silent and disappeared for the past 12 hours as the markets are crashing based on his disastrous policies. We're seeing right now the Nasdaq down nearly 3%, the S&P down nearly 2%, the Dow down nearly 1%. This comes now as Goldman Sachs and Barclays see recessionary indicators. They see last Friday's crash as more than just a temporary correction, and this is as a result of all the wheels falling off as Donald Trump continues his catastrophic and unlawful war. Donald Trump has already destroyed the lives of so many Americans, ripping healthcare away from them, making people live paycheck to paycheck, forcing people to be in dire conditions as inflation is rising based on his disastrous tariffs against the world. People can't afford anything. They can't afford gas and food. And now Donald Trump's doing what he always does, destroy everything, destroying the markets right now as well, and indicators starting to point to a recession or perhaps something even worse. But Donald Trump, he thinks that he was given a round of applause because he's a delusional and demented individual. He thought he was given a standing ovation in Madison Square Garden when the entire arena erupted in boos. Trump's last post was from about 9 to 10 hours ago as he was leaving the Knicks game. And it was a repost of someone, Nicole Parker, USA. And it says, New York City loves Donald Trump. Quite the opposite, and it's pretty demented that your takeaway from what transpired at Madison Square Garden and New York City was that that was love. And this delusional, demented person has the nuclear codes, and you wonder why we've been in these catastrophic, never-ending wars, why he can't negotiate anything, and why he just runs around like a demented idiot just saying, deal? A deal tomorrow? A deal in 3 days? A deal in 2 days? It's really going to happen. I'm going to do a deal. Oh, my deal is going to be so big and powerful. Such a powerful deal. Dude, just shut up. Either do the deal or don't do the deal. Shut up. Act like an adult. Be serious and cut the crap. You're causing so many people in this country such a great deal of pain. Grow up. Be a damn adult. And despite the fact that I despise this guy so much, I just want to see a modicum of leadership from somebody in that freaking White House. I don't care what political party you're from. It's just embarrassing and humiliating to see this behavior. Enough. I mean, it was enough 2 years ago. And it was enough 8 years ago. It was enough when he started this farce going down the escalator and attacking immigrants and attacking Americans. And even before that, going after Obama's birth certificate. Just enough. Grow the hell up. Here he is in the White House. This is the White House now. So as Donald Trump has gone radio silent, we're nowhere near a deal with Iran. Oh, we're 2 days away. We're 1 day away. The White House is posting trust, patriots in control, with a photo of Donald Trump from the billionaire Dolan's luxury box in Madison Square Garden. And here's what they posted 2 hours ago while Donald Trump's gone silent at the White House. Fight week. History in the making. June 14th. Built, not given. UFC White House. Nobody wants this. Seriously. Nobody wants this weird event that is being it's a gatekeeping from Paramount that you have to pay money for. You know, you've turned the White House into a junkyard. I mean, it looks like a bankrupted Six Flags abandoned from like a zombie movie. Like, it's just disgusting. And I think it's probably perfectly symbolic of this disgusting regime. Oh, and this is what the White House posted an hour ago while Donald Trump has gone silent. King of New York. Dude, King of New York. What are you talking about? You got mercilessly booed. You were booed out of New York, and then you go, oh, I think that people were applauding me. No one's applauding you. No, and here's the thing. If you went into stadiums across the country right now, you'd probably get the same boos, even in red states, because people are sick and tired of this crap. Like, what is this? You're posting photos of Democratic leader Hakeem Jeffries and putting a sombrero on his head. Okay, we fixed the hat for you. I mean, this is the White House account. As I've said before, just grow up, behave like adults. You've crashed a Goldilocks economy that former President Biden handed to you that was just right. Grow the hell up. And here, just so you can see Donald Trump sleeping, there's no dispute or doubt that he was sleeping. He inconvenienced everybody in Manhattan only to go to the game, look bored as hell, fall asleep, and then eat 3 hamburgers and 2 slices of pizza and stuffed his face with French fries when he was not sleeping. So then you have Mike Lawler, this MAGA Republican from New York. He was asked about Donald Trump being booed, and he's like, everybody gets booed. Hochul gets booed at hockey games. Here's what he says. Play this clip.
Last night, the Knicks, I'm sure you know, the Knicks lost Game 3 of the NBA Finals. President Trump was in attendance. It didn't seem like the game united New Yorkers. Mr. Trump was booed. So it didn't offer unity, did it? It was more like offering division at the game.
Listen, I've seen Kathy Hochul drop the puck at Rangers games and be booed mercilessly because everybody hates her. The fact is, sports have always been like this. People jeer, they cheer. It's nothing new. And frankly, from my vantage point, President Trump's a lifelong Knicks fan. All of us in New York are excited that the Knicks are on the path to win the NBA championship for the first time in 50.
And in Donald Trump's silence, he sends out his trade representative, Jameson Greer. And this is exactly how South Park scripted it 20 years ago. So as everything's crashing now, who do you blame? Blame Canada. Right? That's literally, it's parody. It's parody. This is what the Trump regime does. You now are blaming Canada for retaliatory tariffs. You may want to look at the word retaliatory, meaning you attacked Canada, so Canada has to respond and protect itself. Let's play this clip.
Or Vietnam. So we're trying to change those rules, we call them rules of origin, to make sure that people aren't using Mexico as a third country hub. We would expect the same for Canada when we are able to get to some kind of an arrangement with them. You know, right now they have a different approach to the United States. They have some retaliatory tariffs still in effect, and that makes it a problem for us to negotiate.
More from Peter Navarro right here saying, you know what, we're hearing that there may be interest rate hikes. That's one of the reasons why, we're seeing the markets tank and the economy in a very dire situation now, because everybody was expecting interest rate cuts. If Donald Trump did nothing and just let Biden's economy do its thing, we would have had inflation at 2%. You would have had multiple interest rate cuts, and that would have opened up a lot of capital that could have been used to bring on jobs, although all these right-wing oligarchs probably still would have done job cuts. I'll say that. But now the Trump regime screwed that all up. And so now they have to go into a conspiracy, right? So what are they saying? They're saying Jerome Powell still sits on the board of the Fed, even though he's not the head of the Fed, even though he's not the chairman. So he's running a shadow board, and they're going to raise the interest rates. So you can't blame Trump. Blame the deep state Fed. Play this clip.
I would be shocked if Kevin Warsh raised interest rates, by the way. I would be shocked.
People have to understand, friggin' Jay Powell, the stupidest chairman in history, is still on the Fed. He's got 3 Biden appointees, 4 out of 7 last time I looked is a majority. And what Kevin Warsh is going to have to fight is stupidity on there. So please do not raise interest rates into the teeth of a supply side shock. Everybody in the financial news networks has to start saying that.
What about cutting the balance sheet?
That's a long-term good thing, and that's Warsh's signature.
Yeah.
That's really important because that weighs us down. But in the short run, if they raise rates, or even if they start talking about raising rates, it's ahistorical. It's stupid. Greenspan and Bernanke never did that. And if Jay Powell uses his shadow chair powers to try to shove that down Kevin Warsh's throat, this country should be in total rebellion to get that guy out of town. Wow. He should have left.
Well, how long can he really stay?
Meanwhile, the Epstein cover-up continues, and so much of what's happening, as you know, is related to Trump's cover-up of the Epstein files and Donald Trump's cover-up of a child sex trafficking ring. It's one of the main reasons he brought us into this catastrophic and unlawful war with Netanyahu in the first place. And so the question to James Comer, who's on the House Oversight Committee, is, okay, Pam Bondi wouldn't testify under oath. She wouldn't testify in front of a camera. And when she was asked these questions, she either blamed Todd Blanche, said she didn't recall, said she wouldn't answer questions before 2024, or said she wouldn't answer any questions about her communications with Trump and anybody else in the executive branch. So shouldn't we bring in Todd Blanche? Here's what James Comer says. Play this clip.
Ranking Member Garcia said you put in a formal request to have Todd Blanche subpoenaed. Are you going to act on that subpoena? Will Todd Blanche become?
Todd Blanche came to speak to us for a briefing, and the Democrats got up and tiptoed out and ran to the press, clutching their pearls in outrage. What a wasted opportunity. We had Todd Blanche and Pam Bondi in there, and they didn't ask Todd Blanche a single question. But the Republicans stayed. We did our job, and we asked Blanche questions for 2 hours, Blanche and Bondi. So, it's never enough for Garcia. I have a question I think you all should ask Garcia and Walkinshaw and all their members that come out and complain and they're outraged. They complained about Lutnick. They said he said all this stuff. Same thing with Bondi. You all have the transcript. What was their problem? They say stuff to try to create a false narrative. They have an opportunity to ask questions, people, and they refuse because they just pull stunts to try to get on TV. We are doing a substantive investigation. I would argue the most thorough investigation ever of Epstein, because
then there's a MAGA Republican witness on one of the Judiciary Committee hearings going on today, where out of nowhere, this Republican witness, Alveda King, starts talking about chopping off baby penises. Let's play this clip.
SPLC is using.
Okay, but my question is about the one proposed by Todd Blanche. It's a yes or no.
I will not answer on it.
Okay.
I think
Mr.
they
Banger,
need to stop killing the babies and cutting the penises off. And so any slush fund is
I have limited time. We can
money in that is the problem.
Mr. Banger.
Then Peter Navarro, Donald Trump's other top economic advisor, says every American should love the tariffs. They should love what's happening right now. Don't you love this? Aren't you in love with what's happening? Play this clip.
Committee for Responsible Federal Budget, Peter, is estimating that these new tariff actions are going to bring in an additional $1 trillion in revenue through fiscal year 2036. Does that sound right to you?
It's probably low.
Yeah, that's low. Okay.
I mean, the bottom line is, if you go back to Alexander Hamilton, Abe Lincoln, Henry Clay, William McKinley, this country used to run on tariff revenues. And those tariff revenues can go a long way to bringing our budget back in balance.
Yeah.
We're burning money right now on paying for the debt. And it's eating into the things we got to do.
Yeah, like defense spending.
Every American should love tariffs.
Yeah.
Well, I'll tell you who is loving this. I'll tell you who's picking our pockets right now. People like Don Jr. Here's a story from ProPublica this morning. And by the way, there are dozens, if not hundreds of stories like this that are similar regarding Don Jr. and Eric and Jared Kushner and this whole corrupt Trump family. This is from ProPublica. Hat tip to them. You do great work. An Indian billionaire was targeted by Trump. Then he poured money into a startup secretly backed by Donald Trump Jr. An obscure Texas firm secretly connected to the president's son, Don Jr., said it received at least $100 million from Mukesh Ambani's Reliance Industries. At the same time, the Ambani family secured major policy wins from the Trump administration, exemptions from tariffs, exemptions from sanctions, and their ability to basically take cheap Russian oil and then sell it, exemptions over and over again from what others would get in return for, it appears, as ProPublica puts it, the timing's awfully suspicious, they put it. Don Jr.'s, a company that Don Jr. is affiliated with now, gets a huge investment. The Ambani's company, Reliance, they get relief while the rest of the Americans suffer. And Donald Trump goes silent like the loser that he is. Hit subscribe. Let's get to 7 million subscribers. Thanks for watching.
Want to stay plugged in? Become a subscriber to our Substack at MeidasPlus.com. You'll get daily recaps from Ron Filipkowski, ad-free episodes of our podcast, and more exclusive content only available at MeidasPlus.com.